Welcome to the Endurance Balance. I'm Coach J.W. McKenna. Joining me are Coach Alicia Phillips and Coach Ann Sharkey. Together, we break down the 80-20 philosophy through the lens of real life. Our goal is simple, to help you fit the training into the chaos. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back, everybody, to the Endurance Balance. I'm Coach J.W., and as always, joining me at the table are Coaches Ann and Coaches Alicia. It's been a minute since three of us have been together to be able to record one of these for you. So we don't necessarily have a format for tonight, more of a kind of a catch-up open mic style what we have planned for you for tonight or today or whenever you're listening to this, I guess. But we might as well go ahead and...
script.
What's that?
We're already off script.
I know. It's the whole, it's different. It's my world is, So it's, we normally start off with the training logs, and I think we will start off with the training logs and it will just morph from there, and we will see where this goes in an hour. I do have a fair amount to update on. I've just had, if you want to call it 5 athletes, 2 juniors, just come back from a pretty big weekend. So we'll update on some of that. We'll talk about some fueling and hydration that worked really well over the course of the weekend. And so I'm sure I'm not the only one that's got a few weeks worth of updates. And Coach Ann, why don't you kick us off?
Mine's probably going to be the shortest of everybody's. It's bloody hot.
Bloody hot.
Bloody hot.
Talk like a accent.
Yes.
Hello.
And if I can't I'm just going to caveat that if you hear a hum, at least I hear it. And I can't scrub it out in the editing. That's Alicia.
It's going to make you twitch by the time we're done.
Maybe.
With this.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right. No, it's been hot. I mean, that's just the way life is down here. What have I been doing? Lifting some weights. I did just take a nice 13, 14 days off of work. I took some
with the puppies,
PT.
You mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I took some PTO from job, and I think I needed it more than I really realized. But I stayed home. There were a couple days where I took the girls for a walk, my dogs for a walk, before the sun came up or before it got really hot. And then I didn't leave the house the rest of the day, which is fine. I think it was much needed. Sometimes you just need that hard reset. Worked on some coaching stuff, worked on some stuff with athletes, building some training plans, kind of just sat down and did the stuff that I love to do that I don't always have time for anymore. And then we did a little road trip. My husband and I went north. We have a friend up in Fort Gordon. Actually, she was a customer of ours in the store back in Kansas City. She's a triathlete. She is at Fort Gordon now, so we went up there to see her. Big change for her, like a new job. So we went up to support her, and we got up to Savannah and then over to Augusta, and it was hotter there than it was in Florida. So, yeah, just jumped in the car for a few days, came back. Didn't really do a whole lot of anything exciting, but I love that. That's the first time that we really didn't have a plan. We had to be one place on a Thursday at 1:00 in the afternoon, and then again at 5:00 that night, and the rest was threw caution to the wind.
We saw some pics on social media. It looked nice.
Oh yeah,
I saw
did
you in a
few.
pool. I saw you did some pool workout.
Oh yeah, that was me reading a book by the pool.
It's a big workout.
That's our neighborhood pool, and they do have a couple black lines on the bottom of the pool, but they're so weird in distance. And then whoever built it, the lane line, like the square to flip, the black line and the wall is curved, so you can't get a good push off. It's there more for aesthetics than anything. But I read my book by the pool, and then it started thundering and I had to leave. So, um, but
Gosh,
yes,
I
I
can't
could.
tell you the last time I read a book, like a paper book. I'm such an audible listening book, or like in the car reading, like hearing a book. I can't tell you the last time I actually
See,
read a
I'm
book.
not. I would love to listen to Audible, but my commute's like 12 minutes down the road, so I would
Mhm.
never really get a good jump on it.
I like
So,
the digitals. I got a Kindle for like my notebook stuff and everything. And
yeah.
I've got some books
Mhm.
on it, but my problem is if I forget I got books on there. I should probably, oh yeah, that's right. I got some stuff to read.
I do like it for reading by like to go to the pool or to go to the beach. Then I don't have a book that like gets wet and stuff. So, yeah, that's really all I've got.
Any coaching, aha moments with athletes or learning opportunities, anything interesting?
I think so. I have an athlete that's training for 70.3 North Carolina.
That's awesome.
Um Exciting stuff coming up. I mean, it's really coming up a little bit faster than I think we realize.
It's like 12 or
Um
14 weeks out, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, about that. It's North Carolina 70.3 actually has gotten a pretty good reputation. I've not
Mhm.
been up there because all of our
Yeah.
stuff was in the Midwest, but I've heard amazing things. There's quite the group from like there's the tri group here, Tampa Bay, the Babes tri group. They're sending some people up as a group. So good showing for good representative for Florida or this area. What else? I think it's been just this is like I said before, this is kind of our off season. Not a ton of stuff going on, but yeah, still rocking the Peloton. Got some new weights, got the
Ooh.
Bowflex adjustable, like do you know what I'm talking about? The ones
Mhm.
that
I'm not a
you
fan of them,
dial?
not gonna lie. I hate
No?
them. I
Oh,
want like just weights that I can just drop and pick up and drop and pick up. Yeah, you
I
gotta
got
like
it.
You get the
adjust it.
grunts in there too. Drop,
Yeah.
rawr.
Yeah. Well, I think for us, I had run the weight rack and then to add to it because we just have it at home. Unless I go to Lifetime soon. Um, but it's we picked these up and it's nice now because we have a bigger range. So those have been a little bit fun to play
Good.
with.
Good.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be a lot of name dropping in this episode. Just want to let everybody know we're not paid sponsor spots or anything like that or
Oh, did I
commercials. It
just
just
do that?
happens to be
Oh,
stuff that we're doing right now. No, it's all good.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just following along with Peloton and using Bowflex and what else?
Oh,
Hoping to
good.
check out
Somebody else is
Lifetime
putting a
Fitness.
screw in. It's not me with the Gatorade. It's now Ann with the bow, or Alicia with the Bowflex.
What else can we throw out there? Yeah, who knows? So, Alicia, you just had, I'm very curious about this crazy workout that I saw on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Mm.
So, because it involves
Yeah.
swimming, the rest of it's poo. Like, I'm like, whatever, I don't want to do it. But tell me
Any
about that.
updates on, and then get into that
Oh,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
My turn?
Your turn.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see, updates. So from my aspect, again, High Rocks was my big spring race. Definitely like just my thing is like working out it's my therapy. When I'm sitting still for too long, I just get grumpy and even though it's been really hot out, but so I've been doing just a bunch of like playing. If you saw my Instagram, I went to this like um very sexual cycling class, and the instructor took off his shirt and was like dancing on the bike. It's totally out of my like training, but like it was so fun and I got a workout in, and normally I would be like my bedtime. All that to say is I don't have a race picked out, but I want to do a sprint try at the end of the summer. I also have my like Portugal trail running thing happening in the fall. I have a lot of athletes with fall races, so maybe that's you. Hopefully you better be thinking about your fall race now and really kind of like I'm kind of on JW's end of like I don't really have an off season. Like I'm still constantly doing things, but it's a lot more play and freedom than structure. And I think that's something that we as especially endurance athletes, we can get so caught into the structure. I got to show up for this versus like go out and play, like just like you're a kid. I have this one member, and she does one of my classes, and she invited me like a Friday night women's soccer pickup game, and I'm like, yes.
Nice.
I said I was like after my high rocks though, so if I get injured. Because that's when you get hurt, when you like are running around kicking a soccer ball around, and I'm like
I was
super
going to say,
stoked
I think
about
you're a little
it.
competitive. I was just going to say, remember, soccer is generally not contact.
Oh,
She's like, the heck, it's not.
I'm
Watch
coming.
this.
you hit that ball the wrong. This is the difference of like, I'm like crazy. Let's play some pickleball, but then there's like the pickleball people who actually know how to play pickleball and like will just walk all over me. You know, I try a lot of things, but just been. Obviously, my ultimate goal, I always tell my athletes too, if you want to maintain, you have to like, for running, at least twice a week, you need to run. So my goal has been just literally just try to run twice a week. And sometimes that might be like, I'm running 5 minutes as my warm up, and that's like my running for the day. And I'm okay with that. Cause I'm trying new workouts. I'm doing like some yoga. I had somebody invite me to a 2-a-day. And I was like, this guy, I found out he's 57 years old. You guys, I'm 37. So he's got 20 years on me.
Okay.
So strong.
I think we do too. Go ahead.
So where's the story here? Come on.
But he has a reputation in the gym to just like really push you. You know, he's the one pushing the treadmill speed up on you, making you run faster. And he does believe in us, really. So he goes, Alicia, you want to do this workout with me at 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday? And I was like, yes. I was like, I got to work at 7 a.m. But, and it was so fun. So we rolling out the rowing machine and just being outside, like watching the sun come up, swimming, like that's a vibe to me. And like that to me is fun. I know that might not be fun to a lot of people, but it
Was that
is.
the Instagram photos I saw on the deck? By a pool or something?
I'm working on my social media, you guys.
She was working out by the pool. I was not.
Yeah. No, I remember seeing that one too. I wasn't sure about that one.
Yeah.
And then I worked for a couple hours, and that's why I was joking. I was like, we should have reversed that, where we ran at 5:30 in the morning and did the pool workout at 9:30. But here we did. And then we went on and did what was supposed to be a 6-mile run, turned into a 7.5-mile run. And I'm like, I still got it. You know, it's one of those cool feelings of like, you're not really training, but like you can still do it. Like that tells me like I got it. Like I haven't lost my base. And that was my whole goal after High Rocks. Is like, just don't lose your base. Just don't lose your base. And I'm sure we could tell that to so many athletes. And I'm going to preach it to you because, you know, you're in your off season.
No, it is. That's very true. Like it's maintaining that.
So hard to
base.
start over.
Yeah. I remember
maintaining.
one time we had a chiropractor that back in Kansas City, and he had said something that still resonates with me. He's like, every time you stop working out, stop, doing whatever you're doing. For us, it was like we were training really like heavy, and it was just our life for a long time. But he's like, every time you stop, you go into this hole, and the older you get, the harder it is to climb back out of that hole. So he's like, remember that when you think it's a good time to take some time off, but it's harder each time you stop to get back out of that hole. So, yeah, you're right. It's that's why it's nice just to, even if it's like a 30, 45-minute walk, and then like tonight I just did 30 minutes of weights. So it's something. It all matters. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Woods was on the show not too long ago, right? And she's saying, strength training twice a week, right? Just to maintain and to, keep daily activities of life all nice and easy. It's only 150 minutes a week of vigorous, moderate to vigorous activity to keep up, a healthy lifestyle. And when you put it into the big scheme of how many hours you have in a week, it's not that much, and it doesn't have to be the same thing. I don't think. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Alicia, you're saying like, well, I want to run twice a week. Well, what's stopping you if you wanted to doing a cycle once a week and a run once a week? Like you can mix it up. It's just
Or play
staying
soccer.
active.
That's
What's that?
running. Or play
Play
soccer.
soccer.
Or play soccer. Exactly, right? Like you go out for an hour, or basketball, like watching, at when I'm over at 3433, then I'm going up to the studio watching the courts and all the young kids and old kids all mixed together, just out there running around playing some pickup basketball. It's all just about the movement. The movement's medicine, right?
Yep.
So you got a workout to tell Coach Ann about?
Yeah, so it was a really simple. I say simple. Actually, the workout only took 20 minutes. We did 3 rounds. You swim 50 meters, then you row 250 meters, and then you keep swimming 50 meters in between each station. So it's like, and then it's kind of like high rocks, but instead of running, you swim. Then we did kettlebell swings. We did kind of like a burpee style. Like you get out of the pool, jump back in. Get out of the pool, jump back in.
Oh, those will
3
raise your
rounds of
heart
that.
rate. Nice.
Yeah, so it was like just a different kind of run or workout that obviously, and I was sore. Like I was sore from that. And let's see, so side note, so we did a little traveling for the 4th of July. And I feel like that's something else we could talk about because you went to Georgia, you said, although yours was a little quicker trip, but working out like while on the road or traveling and not being in your scenery, not being out of routine, but still trying to get it in. And like, I don't know about you guys, and maybe this one might be a little hot take, but like the pressure to feel like you'd have to have a drink in your hand at a social gathering around, I mean, I didn't really feel like, because I didn't know a ton of the people at the parties or anything like that, but it was interesting how I'm like, try to be like Anne and just give 0 Fs and like stop caring what other people think. But still at the same time having this like, I'm the only one not kind of thing. I don't know. It was a weird thing, but I was really like not proud of myself, but like it made waking up, we made a thing of like, we're going to wake up and my sister lives on the lake and it's a 6-mile loop. And we always joke of like what new house is getting built or renovation is happening. Or I just like to look at the gardens and the scenery. And it's like a nice hilly route, but like to wake up, not be hungover, get the run in before the heat and humidity hit. It made for a great like holiday like kickoff. Played a lot. I did some surfing behind the boat, which holy quads, that is a workout. Like, again,
that looks tough.
tubing, like holding the ropes, like my biceps were so sore. Yeah. I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking now. JW, I want to hear all about this ultra. Oh yeah, and real quick though, I do got to give a little shout out. I have an athlete in 5 days this weekend, racing Lake Placid Ironman. So it's his first full.
Oh,
he's done multiple
nice.
70.3s, and this is his first full. But like initially, it was to finish and have fun, and now he's just completely like blown me away. His training. I don't know about you guys, when you use Training Peaks, when you see an athlete or you look at your calendar and it's all greens, like that is music to my ears. Like it makes me as a coach like so proud of like, he figured it out. He's got 2 kids, a family, traveling, like a stressful job, and is putting on like 17-hour weeks, like on the bike, 18-mile runs on a Thursday, getting it done. And we have a goal to
no
go
joke.
in Lake Placid. No joke.
No joke. That's a tough one.
He's trying to go sub 11:30. Like that's kind of like the goal we set. And I actually think he's going to go closer to 11, if not like Like it's gonna be, it'll be one of those things of like whatever happens at mile 18 anything can happen, right? But I'm excited. Yeah, like I'm getting excited, and obviously it's here we are in this heat wave, so hopefully temperatures pump the brakes this weekend too. Um, but if, I don't know if you guys know, one cool thing about Lake Placid is there's a cable that runs,
Yes.
so you don't have to sight. You
Under the
just
water, it
your
connects
head.
the buoys. So there is a cable that's running underwater, so you can
You
follow
just
the cable instead, like Alicia's
yes.
saying, instead of sighting buoys, you can just follow the cable and swim
Is the
like
So
it's
you're
the
cable
never
Black Line.
colored,
running.
or is the
No,
water just that clear?
it's just that clear. It's straight out of the
Oh.
mountain, so it's very, very
Mm.
pristine.
And
Yeah.
the water is like right around 70, it's at 75 degrees right now. So it's like now we're on that line of is it wetsuit legal or not? Which Lake Placid has always been a wet.
They'll
Like
find
it's
it. Yeah.
always so
They'll
really
find
he's
a
like,
cold
do I
spot.
wear my yeah. Do
Yeah.
I wear the wetsuit or not kind of thing. So yeah, super excited to coach him through that. We did his carb loading plan. We have like his race day strategy, what time he's waking up, what he's eating exactly. He's been practicing with 90 grams of carbs per hour. Not necessarily always through training, but that's what his plan is for race day, which is still, it's crazy to say that's still a conservative amount considering some people are onwards of the upwards of like 120. I don't know if you guys have been watching the tour at all,
I just
but
read an article or saw a post or something where someone did it 130 per hour.
Ooh,
Jonas,
that's a lot.
they
Yeah.
I mean in running, I don't know, but I know in cycling they've been upping up 150 grams per hour
Okay.
in the tour. This is
Yeah.
obviously extreme cases, but wild.
Mm.
It's wild. I don't think it's for everybody. I think that's another topic for another day. Um, I actually want to say something, but this might have to get edited out. Can we say it? I feel like I
Go,
have to say it now.
go
Sure,
for it.
do it.
So there is a podcast that I really, really respect and listen to. Fast Talk Labs. Do you guys
Hmm.
listen to it?
Yeah,
Yep.
Dr. Steven Sealer and Nick Rang over there in Norway.
Yeah, very respectable. And they're talking about how they don't put anything in their bottles anymore, just water. What are your thoughts
Oh,
on that? Like no electrolytes? And
what is their reasoning? Did they say?
well, Alex, I think we should all listen to it and talk about it, save it for the next podcast.
Yeah, we'll save
Okay.
that for another one because I'm sure there's a little more scientific on the back or some back end loading or something.
Yeah, I will.
mean,
I
I
will
think it's
listen
one
to.
thing to go out and go for a ride. I don't know. Yeah, I was like, whoa, that's a hot take right there. That's very controversial. But he was basically saying you shouldn't be taking any like 1,000 milligrams of salt is people are doing that non-active. He doesn't even do it, and he's like an avid cyclist. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I've always
Again, we might need to edit this part out.
no, I really enjoy
I
that
don't
one too.
think
Actually,
so.
I do suggest a lot of people kind of listen to that one because there's, I like to say that they kind of like to challenge or buck the norm, if you want to call it, or the average out there. It's episode 308. I really like that one. I know there's a three have talked about technology and wearables and everything. And episode 308 on Fast Talk Lab
Yeah.
talks about how much our devices are now tracking, right? And you know, like your Garmin watch, like what, 50 things that you can track, right? And when we get into and on that episode, and I fully get behind this, is how many of those are they really measuring versus how many are just like NASA smart guesstimations, right? And so there's probably only maybe about 3 or 4 that you actually get real measurements from. The rest is just really good, smart science, right? And math, I guess. Sorry, not science, but math. And then they even go even further to say you should, as an athlete, and I've always done this with mine as well, even before I listened to this episode, was track 2 or 3 metrics. Like your stride will do so many different things in your Garmin watches and all these smart watches. But what we're finding with athletes, and I see this, and you want to fix your cadence. I have to have a cadence of 90 because that's what they say the gold standards is, or whatever it is, right? Or 120. And getting my numbers mixed up, but anyways, like whatever the gold standard is, right? Like whether cycling, running, or whatever. And it's just like, okay, but if it's working for you now, why do you want to switch it? Because now you're going to change your cadence, and then something else suffers for it, and now you're like, well, now I got to go fix that, and then now something else kind of breaks, if you want to call it. Now you're just chasing all these different things instead of just picking 3 that matter to you. Like, what do you want? Right? Like, and go with them. Do you want pace? Do you want speed? Do you want, uphill, downhill power, bike, swim, whatever it might be? And they did a really good job, I thought, of talking about how pick the 2 or 3, work on them, because you can't be perfect at all of them. Right. And then go with the ones that you need. And I often, and I did this even with the running clinic. Sorry to get the name right. And they talk about a lot of things, and we watched a lot of videos when we did a course about injury prevention. And just because it doesn't look right, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Because the human body is so amazing at adapting. Right. And so if you run a certain way, and let's say you're heel striker versus toe striker versus flat footer, if it's working for you and you're getting good times and your energy is good for you, then maybe you should spend that energy trying to fix something else that you want, one of your other limiters, other than trying to change the body. Right. And it comes back into another episode that we had earlier on, where, I mocked Anna a little bit, where I said, please don't tell me you broke in your shoes, right? Because you don't break in shoes. Your foot just has to adapt to the shoe that you have, right? You don't break, if you broke them in, to me, that's time to buy a new one, right? Because you've worn them all out, so to say. So I really like it. I like how that crew, so no, I don't think we're going to edit this out, because I like how that crew over there really likes to challenge things, right? And there was another one I was listening to too, is, how do we measure VO2 max typically in the lab, right?
I'm actually going to get I'm getting the mask. I'm going to do a VO2 test. So stay tuned. I'll report.
You should listen to this episode, because they're even saying now that those numbers will be skewed because the mask alters your breathing.
I believe that.
So you're right. And so, but it comes back to, they're trying to find other ways where you don't have this big mask on to do VO2 max. But I'll always argue back, and this kind of goes back to all those other metrics that everything watches. Like everybody, I think the big one is, what was your sleep score for Garmin, kind of thing, right? Like, what's your stress score? I tell athletes that number, I mean, if you want to know what your true sleep score is, you got to get the right equipment. You got to be in the right setting to get it, right? Like, how can your wrists know how you slept? It's, again, just making a really good, smart guesstimation. But what I tell athletes is, if you're going to use that number, be consistent and use that number all the time. And don't worry about the number itself. Just know that if that number changes drastically, there's probably something going on, and look at the bigger picture.
That's what I was going to say, is that like the VO2 max, I mean, what is accurate? Are you ever truly going to get your accurate number? Like, I can go with the number off of my Garmin watch, but you're right. Like, what's my wrist telling me? And it's a VO2, it's a guesstimate, but it's not a true number. I mean, right, like Alicia, like the true test is getting in there with the mask on and really getting into it. But if you're going to use a number, be consistent with the number that you use. Like, I used to do lactic threshold testing, where we would like pinprick finger and take readings. And I just uncovered all of the equipment too. If anybody wants that done, just let me know. But
you can send it down to me, because I'm having a hard time finding them here cheap, right? We can do them. Just the blood testing for lactate, right? So either finger prick, and that's the other thing, is you probably always do finger or always do ear.
Ear, right?
One or the other.
I always did finger. Yeah. No, but you're right. Like, it's a number to go off of and to base off of, and just, if you're going to use it, go ahead and use it, but it's not the golden number and the golden gospel. I'd be interested though, Alicia, to hear if your
how
number
it compares. Yeah.
Mhm.
compares and like
Mhm.
when are you getting that done?
Well, I told the trainer that I needed to just build up my running confidence on the treadmill because I want to succeed.
Yeah. Oh, you will. You'll
That's
do
it.
awesome.
You'll
And
be
don't
fine.
get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like these are great tests. It's just that
Yeah.
when that Fast Talk Labs, I just like how they get into and will challenge some of it and saying,
Mhm.
but again, it's like if that's what we're using and that's what everybody else that you're being benchmarked against
Mhm.
is using,
Mhm.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's excellent. I mean, like, and every athlete should like.
Yeah.
I sometimes wonder, man, like Jess and I have kind of joked a couple of times, let's just open up a clinic here kind of thing, right? You can do kind of massage on one side. We'll do PT or, sports performance or analysis on the
Sweat
other side.
test.
And,
Mhm.
just making it more accessible to athletes.
Mhm.
Cause
Yep.
if I want a DEXA scan, I go to Calgary and they're like $100.
Yeah.
Like that's for
Yeah.
a 15-minute scan. Like, come on. I get the
Yeah.
equipment's expensive, but it's tough.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, you have to share
Exclusivity.
those numbers with us and let us know. I
Oh, I
mean,
absolutely
you're
will.
ready. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
You'll be ready.
you're
Go play
good.
some soccer. Get in there. You'll be ready.
That's
Well, it
right.
was interesting on my run, and I wore the chest strap monitor, but I honestly was like, I don't think it's synced because my heart rate was like through the roof the whole time. But I'm like talking and having a conversation. I was like, this is annoying. Again, we can talk another day about technology. But then I went back and looked, and it's like my run power, I was in zone 2 the whole time, but my heart rate, I was in like zone 4. And I was like, again, it's one of those things of like, thank God I'm not training for anything and I'm just like out just
Playing.
having
Yeah.
like a stroll
Yep.
for, of like just wanting to get a good run in. Like, cause man, I'm like, if I had a coach that I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'd have to explain myself on this. And like that to me is stressful versus like going back to like, why do we even work out in the first place? What's the point? Like, what is fitness to us? What brings us joy and like what's going to move that needle? I think it's, yeah, interesting. Speaking of Garmin's though, you guys all have Garmin's, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did this test. So go on your Garmin and like scroll to where it says training status. Usually it
Scroll.
says like,
Geez, these young kids and their scroll. And I still
They're
have a
scrolling.
745. I have to push buttons.
Oh my
oh my goodness.
gosh.
What are we looking for? Sorry.
It'll say like productive, unproductive, strained,
Oh.
recovery.
Oh, all that. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that? Okay, so go to where it says that and then scroll down more. Again, not everyone's it'll show you your show you your HRV status, your recovery, your VO2. At the very bottom though, it should say heat acclimation.
Yeah. I
Oh
think I turned
yeah.
mine off.
Does yours tell you that? And you should be like at 100.
Yeah.
Anne should be, but she's not. She is. So it's funny because we got our bikes out for the first time in a long time. A couple weeks
I think you
ago.
actually have to have like 4 days of data though, maybe for it to like
Yeah.
start reading it.
We went. I'm scrolling through mine now. We went on. We've been going on a couple little bike rides, and I'm talking like we are not holding the pace that we were a long time ago, which is fine. But it's funny because we got back and mine's like 30% heat acclimated. Like that's it.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. I have to look. I know it pops up, but I don't know where to find it.
Hmm.
I'm not great with my Garmin. I'm not gonna lie.
I think you're right, Alicia, that it's kind of like the same thing. Like if you want to know what your pacing and stuff like, you have to be like outside on a run or something like that
I
2 or
think
3 days in a
so.
row. And if you're like me, that has to do
Yeah.
more indoor than outdoor. And then I got to go back out every once in a while just to get all those numbers back,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yeah, but
interesting.
going back to that salt, like what's in your bottle. I know we always talking about like an empty bottle or a bottle with just water in is like not serving you. But then they did mention like though if you cramp, take down a salt pill, take some salt, and it like instantly will cure your.
Did they say instantly? Because I've been reading some papers lately on that because I've seen some stuff. I'm gonna have to follow this up afterwards, but
Yeah, there's been a
it
lot of
says it takes
interesting
about
stuff
20
about.
minutes for, because they call it the
Uh,
cramp sniper or whatever you want to call it. So I think is what social media does. It's because I've had a few
Yeah.
people go, oh, that means if I cramp, I just take some electrolytes and some salt and I'm good. And I go, you still got to work out the cramp and it still has to process. So I'd be interested to see.
A
I think they
whole
said
the
like within like 30 seconds, but I mean,
usually so with cramping, the old pickle juice, mustard packet, those things, that is actually it's a response, it's a trigger response to, I'm gonna not remember the right words, but like it's a sense in the back of your throat
Mm-hmm.
that when that tartness, I'm sure you guys have heard this,
Mm-hmm.
the pickle juice tartness or that mustard, like that vinegar, hits the back of your throat and it triggers something in the brain
in the
to,
brain.
yeah, that it doesn't actually fix the cramp, but it fixes your brain's reaction to the
Mm-hmm.
cramping.
Just
Mm-hmm.
it's on the receptor for and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
signal, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, I think it goes
So,
back to doing like a sweat test, and
Mm-hmm.
although that was another thing I read about, though they said that our skin is like a new unknown, untapped territory that we store salt in our skin. So when we've done like, if you do a sweat test with the patch, it's not actually accurate. And this is like literally a new science in like the last month. So we store salt in, obviously, in between our organs, like
Mm-hmm.
when we swell, and then in the fluids. But the third location was in our skin, which was obviously all. Because
interesting.
whenever you were getting like, I don't know, if you went to the hospital and got dialysis, there's not like a specific test. It's kind of like a art, essentially. I don't know. Not not super. I'm not a nurse or anything. I don't know
No, I
anything,
think it
but I
kind of
know
comes
that
back a
We,
little bit to that again, that
the
what's the number,
unknown.
and then just
Yeah.
stick with that consistently as a number. I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Everybody should kind of know their sweat rate.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't necessarily have to be salt content. Well, there's a
Mhm.
lot of devices out there that will measure it for you and then try to tell you what you should be taking in for salt.
Yeah.
But as far as the what fluid are you losing, right? And you can look
Right.
like if you're a heavy salt sweater, you'll have the white powder chalky kind of white ring around your sweat, right? That means you should be probably taking more sodium in. I think you should be taking more
Absolutely.
sodium in, and if it's pretty clear, then maybe just the standard, right? But knowing what you're losing for fluid, it's good. It's and we have to. I always will come back to the science on it. Is that again? On average, the body will only process that 1 liter. We will sweat more than the 1 liter per hour, but
Mhm.
knowing that so that you can actually play your strategies properly, right? Like, and this is where I always say too: have the swimming pool full, right? Have your hydration stores full before you start this event. So, we're going to get into Sin 7 weekend here. And it was a lot warmer than what was supposed to be. Right. But if you weren't hydrating all week, and we're not just talking before the race either, or hours for the race, we're talking like being ready, like as a first responder, like we had to be ready to go in at any given moment. You can't just hydrate before you go in. You need to be like hydration ready to go in, to sweat a lot before you don't take it in. And as athletes, we need to be the same way. So if you sweat, like I'm about 1.2 liters per hour, right? I'm really only going to process about 900 mils to a liter per hour. I'm already at a deficit of 0.2, we'll call it,
How
per
do you
hour.
know? How do you know your sweat rate? Did you do an official test?
Yeah, they're super easy, right? So
Yeah.
what I will do is listeners ask us for in your birthday suit, weigh yourself in the morning, like or before you go for your run, right?
Yep.
And then you put all your clothes and everything on, and then you weigh your food, weigh your hydration, whatever you're going to take with you. Then you come back from your run, weigh what you got left over for food and hydration,
In your
and
birthday
then
suit. In your
back
birthday
in your
suit.
birthday suit.
Mhm.
And then you weigh yourself again. Now, there's a bunch of mathematicals based on the food and the hydration and the calculations to get the right weight and everything. But then
Right.
that will tell you basically really good guesstimation, like you say, of what your sweat rate is, right? And it literally takes you 5 minutes to do.
Yeah.
right?
But
It's
that
real
could
super easy.
change if it's in the winter or the summer, correct? Or is your
It
sweat
could, yeah.
rate?
I mean,
Right.
but generally and this is what, like as coaches, we keep telling our athletes, just because it's winter doesn't mean you don't have to hydrate. You're right. Like you're still going to sweat. You're just not going to sweat the same rate. So yes, figure out your different sweat rates, especially coming in for summer events, or even in your area, and for off season, hot season training. It's just good to know, because if you know that you can only going to bring in about 900 to a liter, and you're going to lose 1.1, 1.2, that strategy better be pretty good, right? You don't, and we can talk about it. Jess had mentioned, she goes, I was late on my hydration 1 hour, and I noticed it, right? On that run that she just did. So also being in tune as an athlete, like, and when I say, hey, my athletes, team ready endurance, do your body scans when you're out there doing your sessions, you're on your long runs, or you're on your bricks and you're doing everything else. And that's, how's my form? How's everything going? How am I feeling? When was the last time I drank? When's the last time I took in some nutrition? Because you want to do those, especially hydration. You want to drink before you're thirsty, because when you're thirsty, it's your brain going, hey, buddy, you're not getting enough in here. You better start drinking. Now you're playing catch up again, right? And then I've seen so many athletes try to play catch up and just end up in the hospital.
So
or
I have
throwing up.
a question. We are 40 minutes in and we still have not gotten to JW's training logs.
JW.
It's a free for all. It's
So
all good.
you got 20 minutes to actually, yeah, you got 20
Yeah, our
minutes to
listeners are
spill
going,
on
sure, they're going to stick it to 90.
yeah, right.
Yeah, actually, a lot's been going on. I'll kind of keep it pretty quick. We'll start with the first update in life, if you want to call it. School is done.
Yay! Congratulations. Woo!
Yeah, there's a big cyber attacks drama going on, but that's a different story for the school. But
Nice.
yeah, school is done, graduated with distinction. So all good there. CSIP
Now what
certified.
changes? You're certified, so
His
now
rates.
but
Yeah.
His rate changes.
Team ready endurance, plug your ears. That's right. Rates go up.
Sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, fully certified. Got through some loopholes. Thank you, CSIP, for working with us on that, because obviously after a cyber attack, the school has zero access to all our transcripts and everything else. Like it was a pretty big
Wow.
big hit. Just read today, the ransom is 1.9 million for ransomware. So that's on the significantly high end. And to me, I'm not a cyber specialist, but that should tell you what they got. Right?
Wow.
So if they're asking for 1.9, when most of it's usually like $250,000 or something, whatever it is, I guess. But anyways, digress on that one. I had a whole bunch of emails going back and forth on that this afternoon. So that's done. So that's good. I'll
so
probably
now
end up.
what was school like? That was a big chunk of your time and effort.
Yeah, so 4
mental
years
capacity.
while working. Well, when I first started, it was started with 3 jobs, and school and family and training and coaching and all that stuff. And
What got you into? I don't know I know we were kind of going to shoot the shoot, but what got you like? What was your like? I'm going to do this 4 years ago.
that
What
was,
that
believe
COVID?
it started with how do we make us better, right? So there's got to be. So how do we, so people that I was kind of mentoring at the time, and then, our own family, ourselves in sports and everything else, is how can we make it better? And so if we know more about the strength training and injury preventions and nutrition and programming, like it's 22 programs, with 20 if you don't count the practicums, right? So 20 programs over typically a 2-year or the 6-semester type thing, right? So it was a big course load. So I just started with how do we make things better? It wasn't necessarily going to be for anybody else except for a tight circle, so to say. But now for the last 2 years, for sure anyways, my athletes have definitely been benefiting from the programming, right? The strength training and the just everything else, and fitting it all together with everything. So that's kind of what started it. So
Nice.
Yeah, but done. And I'll move into, I think I'm going to move into high performance, the next accreditation for that one. Just, why not, right?
You're gonna
Just
take a
close your
little
ears.
break before I was gonna
Oh
say,
yeah,
'cause
no, we're taking the summer.
okay.
Trust me.
Yeah.
At least the summer. Maybe next year. Maybe in about a year, we'll see. 3433 is going well. Sports Performance crew, the triathletes over there are great. The soccer that I was coaching, I'm not sure if we had talked about it at the time, but the kids were going for the gold medal match. The
Team
green beans.
Yes,
Yeah,
nice.
green beans were going for a gold medal match, and they played awesome. Like it was like they left it all out there. They walked away with silver. Absolutely
Nice. That's all right.
nothing to shy at.
Yeah.
So
That's
they,
awesome.
yeah, they did really, really well. So, and then real quick, I got Patrick is going out on a 70.3 this coming weekend in Ohio.
Ooh,
Mhm.
So he's
gonna be
he's
hot
really getting
this
stoked and getting ready for
heat
that.
wave.
And then Sinister 7 Ultra was this past weekend. So we were down in the Crow's Nest Pass from Thursday evening till got home yesterday afternoon. If you count Runa and Eirik, 5 athletes racing there this weekend.
That's
So
awesome.
Eirik and Runa were doing the kids race, which I think was 4.7K, just over 4 kilometers. Wasn't too bad. I think they had 480 feet of elevation, so nothing crazy for the kids. Eirik competed in the 0 to 9 males. He placed 17th. So that was pretty good. And then Runa is 10 to 12 females, and she placed 11th.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was a
Good.
total of 90 kids,
Okay,
right?
nice.
In the races. So
Wow.
yeah, they did really well. And big shout out for Runa because it's actually the first time she beat her brother Eirik in a race.
Good job, girl.
Yeah.
Love
Go
that.
colors.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Irik's got a little, he's like, typical, right? Kid, right? Like little sibling. He's just like, I don't like this. She beat me. So
Nice.
it's good.
How did
Next
Jess
one
do?
up for them will be the death race in 3 weeks. All right. So this is, so for Jess, this is the first of the 3 that she does, 3 ultras that she does within 6 weeks. So we are doing some serious CNS recovery this week. And then the next 2 weeks we'll bridge her and then get her back out for another 50 something K up at the death race. So she ran her 50K. We were talking a little bit off air just before we recorded, and we had sick run through the house. Right, started with Eirik, then of course moves to Runa. I got it for a little bit, so we'd missed a recording, we missed some meetings and things like that. And I actually thought Jess, naive me, I actually thought Jess was going to miss it, and she got it taper 1, so 2 weeks out, and it just lingered last week with her a little bit. But she still turned out a solid, awesome race. Right, she wanted 10:30 and was just slightly over 11:30. I think it was 11:45.
Good.
Right. But it's awesome race. 54 kilometers, so that's 51.5 miles in the 50K, and 8,353 feet of elevation over that 53K. So totally smashed it, did awesome. Overall, she placed 180 out of 263.
Okay.
Just
nice.
purely running for 11 hours. I can't fathom that.
Okay, so I know but for our listeners that don't know ultra racing, you're not running straight for those 11 and a half hours, we'll call it. There's
With
a lot
that
of power
elevation,
hiking.
though. Whew.
Yeah, a lot of
That's
power
incredible.
hiking. And I mean, like, yeah, I should have looked it up. Even just where you're at for elevation from sea level, and then gaining that as you go, right? Because it's Canadian Rockies is where it was down in Crow's Nest Pass. Just in the 50K, 34 DNFs.
From the
How
heat?
many total participants?
For the whole weekend?
Yeah.
2,100.
Okay.
Okay, so 2,134 of those DNF'd.
No, just 34 out of the 50K.
Oh.
So just out
Oh.
of the 50 kilometer distance,
Mhm.
there was a total of 263 athletes in that one. And out of those, 34 didn't finish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's like, I don't know how to do the math. What
But
would
with
that
the
be?
heat that you guys are having that you haven't been used to, that's
So yeah, we were
that's not
expecting
surprising.
the weather in Crow's Nest Pass was expected to be about 24 degrees Celsius, which would
15% did not finish.
yeah. And that's
Yeah.
just in that one distance. Wait, I mean, I can pull the number up for you for the 100-miler, right? Like I mean, it's just crazy. Like I was reading one of the social posts, and I think it was Moab. No, so
Mm.
it was a runner. I don't think it was Moab, but he said he just did a desert run, right? Like an actual like marathon or an ultra in the desert. And he had well, if I can run in the desert, right? Like how different would it be running here? He DNF'd, right? He finishes
Well,
an
of
ultra
course, it's not.
in the desert, but he DNF'd here in Crow's Nest Pass.
Wow.
So I mean, we always joke, and Brian always jokes. Brian's the race director for this, and he says we're called Sinister Sports for a reason, right? Like they
Mm.
are tough races. Sarita. Sarita is Donna was another athlete that was there. She was in a 100-mile relay on a mixed team. They did very well. They finished in 25 hours 10 minutes, and they had here's the thing. Donna herself did leg 6. Leg 6 is the toughest out of all 7 legs. So they're ranked, 1 out of 7, and so she decided to do 7 out of 7. It's the next worst one after the leg that they call Satan's sack. And they justly called that because you are in the sun, no coverage all afternoon on that one leg, right? It's just nasty. But she did 32 and a half kilometers, so 20.2 miles. So Jess's elevation, I mentioned, was 8,353 feet. Donna's alone was 4,593
Mm.
on one leg over that 20 miles.
Donna's a badass.
Yes, that's great. And she kind of messaged me like, I never want to do that leg again. And then a
Yeah.
couple of days later, it's the typical endurance athlete, right? I want redemption.
Well, maybe I could do that
I
better.
might do
Yeah.
that again.
That's
And
what happens. Yep. That's why
right,
we
that's how
sign
you
up
get
for all of
hooked
this
in and
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Well, good.
and then Sarita. Sarita, you've probably heard me mention her a few times. She's been with me for a while. She's the one who went down to Boston after finishing the 100-miler a couple of years ago. Did a 3:31 down in Boston. She was supposed to do the 100-mile again this year, but she was the last couple of weeks she was kind of playing with an injury. Right. And it was one of those ones where it's kind of going away, it's not going away, and it's kind of there, it's not. And, yeah. And she kind of
100
comes in.
miles will expose that.
What's that?
I said 100 miles will expose everything.
100 mile will just eat you up on an injury. Right. And, so she came and met me at the expo because Ready Endurance Coaching, we're actually a sponsor with quite a few of the events with Sinister Sports this year, right? And so we sponsor third place teams, so males, females, and mixed for this race, Canadian Death Race, Black Spur, and a couple of the others like the 200 and stuff. But she kind of came to me and she's just, I'm like, how you doing? We need to have a talk. Right, like I need to be talked to, coach talk to me kind of thing. And it's like, okay, well, what's going on and everything. She goes, it's still sore, like it's sore enough that I can barely touch it, like my shorts and pants and clothing really shouldn't touch the injury kind of thing, right? Like, because it's that sore. I'm like, so what are we gonna do? She goes, well, I'm tough, I'm gonna go do it. I'm like, I need you to think. right? Like
So let me ask you, was this like a hip or a quad or what? I don't know if maybe I missed that. What was the
it's an
injury?
injury. We'll just leave it as an injury that definitely like Alicia's. I'll let you know kind of off air. But it was an injury that definitely I felt that if she was to do the 100, we would be long term coming back, right? Like, so she wouldn't be dirt biking or quadding for the summer or mountain biking and things like that. I think it would have really, really, really exasperated the injury, right? Because she could bike and there was no pains and things like that, right? I, Basically, it was a hip flexor. There was a little bit more to it, but we're going to call it a hip flexor for now. Was the injury with physio and things, and so as a lot of listeners know as well that Jess, my wife, she's a massage therapist and she can do taping and things like that. And so we just said we'll meet you at the expo. Jess will come down and we'll tape you up and we'll see what we can do and see how it is, right? And so she kind of, what's your honest opinion? I says, I think you just need to be honest with yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't kind of worry about what's going on. And we've all had
I love
athletes.
that you spun it on her and made her say it versus you tell her.
Oh,
I think
for
she just
sure,
wanted
right? Like,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can tell
That's
you
cool.
anything you want, but if you don't, now
Yep.
it's just going to be that asshole made me not do this
Yeah,
race.
No,
or
that
I
was a
didn't
great
finish,
approach. Absolutely. Yeah.
and Rob, I mean, her husband, Rob, and it's just like, I'm just like, you got to go home with her. So I know where you're at, kind of like, not that she was being bad or anything, right? Like, it's just that this is something it's tough for athletes. We get it. Like, all you endurance athletes out there, I have been there. I'm sure both of you have been there where you're questioning. And I even say, if you're questioning whether or not you should start, you really got to take a deep thought of kind of about what's going on, right? And so, in her and Jess went off, and Jess did a bit of evaluation of the injury, and then she came back and she's like, I'm going to drop to the 50K. Because that was my option, was like, I believe you will be able to do the 50K, but here's my ground rules and everything else. I said, but at the end of the day, this is your decision. I can only tell you what I think. And then it's interesting where the psyche of the athlete goes, because, well, I'm going to be letting people down. And it's like, doesn't matter. It's about you. This is always about you, not about anybody else. Don't worry about those persons. Don't worry about me. I'm just extremely happy. If you start, you don't start, we go to the next one, right? Like, you are my athlete, and I'm thinking, 5 years down the road, not just getting this win or this race for you. But they came out and they decided that they would like to do the 50K. And I even just, I said, like, Jess is doing the 50K. If you decide you want to do the Sinister Triple, which is what Jess is doing, although Jess might move to the Four Horsemen, which means that she would do a fourth race in a few weeks after these three, to get the belt, the Horseman buckle. I said, but you can run with Jess, right? Like, Jess is a very solid, steady athlete. Like, if you
Pacer.
look at her pace in Training Peaks, everything is nice and steady. Like, there's no ups. I'm going to run super fast and go slow. Like, everything is awesome. And she's like, they came out and they're like, yeah, we will, I'll do the 50K. Right. And then she kind of thought about it. And then she's like, okay, I got to let my crew and everything know that's here to help me. And it's like, that's good. But everybody will totally understand. And this is good for I already talked to Sarita, and she knows that we're going to be talking about it on the podcast here. Because I think it's great learnings, right? Like, you have to be able to pivot, and you have to try to see outside the moment, right? Like, you've trained your butt off for 22 weeks, and she was
You probably
ready.
paid a lot of money and invested a lot in shoes and gear and all the things.
Yeah.
But this is where I'm fortunate. I don't train any professional athletes. This isn't paying your mortgage. Like, you are doing this because, it challenges you, but it's not, it's just that. And I always remind my athletes, like, calm down. Like, those race day nerves are very normal. It means, like, you care. But again, at the same time, like, this isn't your career. You don't have sponsors on the line. You don't have to prove anybody but yourself this.
Well, it's not their
So
identity either.
Yeah.
right? Like there's
Yeah.
more to you than like,
Mhm.
I get it. You've just, like I said,
Mhm.
she was freaking ready. Like like you
Mhm.
looked at her training peak stats and the fitness and
Yeah.
everything was just
Well, that's what I look back at Western states. Molly, why can't I think of her last name right now? The Olympic athlete Molly.
oh, I can't remember, but I know what you're.
Molly
Yeah.
by golly is like her Instagram handle. She finished Western States. I mean, again, she was an Olympic marathoner. Um, she did the 100 miler and it took her 24 hours. Whereas like the winner won it in like, I think she was at one in like 15 hours or something like that. But like where she could have just DNF'd because, given up at miles 80, she like went through the hallucinations and the digging deep and all the things. And I mean, again, she is a professional racer, but it's just yeah, like who cares if you finish? Like you finished it, you ran 100 miles. Like that's what's the part that you should
Right.
be.
That, I mean, and
Um,
that's just it, is that you trained and you got ready to be here. You
mhm,
started, you showed up,
mhm,
you were ready. There's like to do 100, yeah, right, to do the 100 miles, to do the 50 miles, because there's a lot of, there was the marathon distance and things like that. I mean, to put it in perspective, for this one here, 100 miles solo, um 18 hours 50 minutes.
that was the winner.
That was the winner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
And then, and here's to put it all in perspective for Sarita. So she ran the 50K. She finished in 7 hours 40 minutes and placed third in the Masters.
Okay, good.
Wow.
Nice.
So
And how is she feeling? Like, can she continue to ride her bike? Like,
yep.
how?
She did her walks. All my athletes, all the listeners know, 1 hour walk for
Yeah.
days after. She's doing great. And I got, because one of the things I said to her is, that's like, the 100 mile, that distance, you do several 100 milers, right? I often have athletes ask me, it really, where I hear it most is in triathlon, is how do I know what distance I like? Try them all. Right? Just try them all. You may like the Olympic, you may like the sprint, maybe you do like the 70.3, right? Like you don't know until you try them all. And I says, this is an opportunity. So if you want to look for opportunities, this is a chance for you to try a different distance and still be somewhat healthy afterwards. And she came across the finish line and she's like, that was fun.
Ah, that's fun.
I like that. That was
That's cool.
fun.
Good.
And I'm like, awesome.
Nice.
That's how I feel about
I
half.
still have an athlete. She hasn't fired me.
Yeah.
After doing
That's
the
how you feel.
marathon, I feel like the half is like such a nice distance. Now, the 10K, I think that is like a scary distance, and the 5K even more. But like, yeah, it's interesting. Everyone has their when you know, but I still don't think from that you should quit. Like, keep trying. Like, I used to always say I'm never gonna do a marathon. Who knows? Maybe one day I might do a 50K. Like, why not?
Maybe you'll be
The
going up to
training
Canada.
is what scares me.
Hey, I did hear of a new marathon that y'all might be interested in. In England, IKEA put on a marathon, and it was 17 loops through the store and the warehouse.
Oh God, it was no.
They
thank you.
they capped it at like 80 people. They said, who
Oh, that's
knows?
so
There might be
funny.
Swedish meatballs at one of the aid stations.
That's
You might have to
awesome.
make your own finisher's medal. But I'm like, oh, I feel like that could be that. I feel like I could walk. I've walked 26 miles in an IKEA, but
I know we're kind of at time, but for Jess, I just wanted to update, because we've talked. It's kind of been a hot topic on and off the mic. Nutrition, so getting the carbs in and getting sodium and whatnot in, and we ended up doing, so the nutrition plan was the honey, Sun River honey. that we use. So it was 5 tablespoons mixed, I think, with like a quarter a teaspoon or something of some more water just to loosen it up a little bit. But because it's creamed and not pasteurized and everything, like it'll never crystallize, which was nice. So it stays creamed. And then and that would give her 90 grams of carbs. Okay. And
Did you
so,
have like handmade?
yeah,
Flasks.
so we have
Yep.
like 7 or 8, like 500 or 250 ml flasks, right? Most of them have the gel kind of cap on them or whatever, right? And so those were all pre-made the night before. So we mix all those up, and within those, and this is where I really like what we're doing now, is that we can adjust this even the night before, knowing what the temperature is going to be. Because I mentioned we were only expecting about 24 degrees, when it's just under 77 Fahrenheit, for temperatures for race day. On the backside of the mountain, it got up to 95.
That's hot for you
Right. So
guys.
35 degrees is what it was. And especially like for those out on Satan Sack, you are just in that, and you're just baking, right? So, but with the nutrition and the honey, we added a quarter a teaspoon of fine sea salt to mix in with that. She took one of those flasks, one
Which is
per hour.
1,000 milligrams. Quarter teaspoon is 1,000 milligrams.
No, 530
A quarter? I thought it was
teaspoon, quarter teaspoon.
teaspoon.
Yeah. I
Oh,
fact
okay.
checked before I came on.
Okay, I believe you.
At least with the stuff that we're using anyways, that's
Yeah.
what it ended up being, and that's the numbers we went off. So we had 530 there that we were doing in there. And then our caffeine protocol was, she has 1 cup of coffee 2 hours before the race, and then an hour before the race, and then every 3 hours is a caffeinated gel. But what we did, because we're mixing our own, matcha tea powder. And then I can't remember the size, but I think it was a quarter a teaspoon as well. They say if you get the what do they call it? Cooking, culinary grade of the tea. It's the tea powder. It's better. But we did every 3 hours with that honey. Then we added the matcha tea, and then that was our caffeination gel. And then we were doing 1 scoop, and then we made our, how your hydration often they come in the single serve packs and you just kind of rip them off. I found a way to make our own. So like they were still terribles, and you put your stuff in, and you heat seal it, and then you've got your individual packs. So we ended up doing 1 scoop of BioSteel with 1/8 of a teaspoon more of sodium, just to kind of break up the pathways of it, like sources coming in, which would give her 265 milligrams of sodium in that, totaling. So she was doing about 950 per hour of sodium based on what we had. And then, so think about it. So out there for 11 hours. So that's 11 flat. We went through 1 kilogram of honey. So basically in that 11 hours, she had 1 kilogram of honey.
Did she get any palate fatigue?
No.
Any
She said
cramps?
she was tired of eating honey, but wasn't sick, wasn't nauseous, not that she couldn't put it down. It was just boredom. Like, I suppose if you eat tub after tub after tub of cheese puffs, you probably get boredom after a while. Like, who can not eat cheese puffs, right?
And
I don't know if-
11 and a half hour. Did she like go to the bathroom at all?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to
I
say
always say
yes.
like so my athlete doing, and I'm always like, just monitor your pee, make sure it's not, dark yellow. We want to as light as possible. I was wondering, is for an 11 and a half hour race, how did you?
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
just
obviously you're kind of
go into the bush, really, is what it is, right?
yeah, you're not monitoring.
She comes in, the first loop on this particular 50K was a little shorter than the second loop. And the second loop had 3 aid stations. This one only had 2. So with that 1 scoop, so we put 1 scoop of the BioSteel and 1/8 of a teaspoon of sodium. We put them in there.
So what's the carb content? So how many carbs was she getting an hour?
90.
90 grams of carbs?
Just from the honey only.
From honey. Wow.
Right. And so with that electrolyte.
And honey, what is it? Is there like how like Precision's like a 1 to 0.8 or, ratio. What is that? What is honey?
It's the same.
It's
It's got the
just,
glucose
is
and the
it just,
fructose. It's very
it
easy on the
is.
digestive system. It has the 2 pathways. It's all natural.
Mhm.
And it comes in that way. And then with the hydration, that was going into a 500 ml flask. So she knew she had to have the 250 done per hour, and she had to have 1 flask done every hour. And then about 400 was coming from clean water, as we talked about, for cleaning the flesh and kidneys and that. And then when she came into the transition, this is where we swapped out all her stuff because everything was already pre-made. Here's your next package. To help with the palate fatigue, I had her brush her teeth.
Love that.
So you're just in the tent, she brushes her teeth out, she retox everything up. She had a little bit of banana. No, she didn't take the banana, but it was just like, eat the damn banana. And she went out. So we wanted wafers, the honey stinger wafers, but just both our brains kind of went elsewhere, and we just totally forgot to get them. But she feels great. Felt like she just ran 50K with that much elevation, obviously, but she said it's probably been the best that she's felt as far as nutrition and hydration and being on par. So it
That's
worked.
cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
90 grams carbs, 1,000 milligrams of salt.
Yeah. Just under the 1,000 milligrams.
For 11 hours. That's crazy.
Doing that per hour, right?
Yeah.
And doing it now. And then she's in the pool the next day with the kids. While I was back down at the expo and stuff. So swimming and playing with the kids and still being able to move, not your typical, you see the social media memes or whatever where people are falling out of cars and stuff. So well, I think with some good recovery, I think we'll be, get a good reset on that CNS and then get that bridge going for the next events.
Woohoo.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Go
look at that.
Jess.
We went through that with flying colors without an agenda.
That's right.
I had no doubt.
Very good.
I
Well,
think maybe we had talked, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if we're going to do this next week, but going to talking about our story of how we got where we are, leave a little tidbit of a teaser
Stay
for maybe
tuned.
the next episode or upcoming. Doesn't have to be the next one, but
oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I
talk
know we
about-
did talk about that one. Just more of because I know in the intro we talk about how we met a little bit and how we got here, but definitely I think we can do a bit of a more of a open to that. And definitely for our listeners out there, shoot us a message, drop us a like, but shoot us a message or a DM or something in the chat or whatever it is that they have for the comments. Drop us a comment if you want us to talk about something, right?
Yeah.
Let us know if you got an upcoming race and maybe you want us to case study how the three of us, because I'm not going to say we're very different, but we're different with different points of view, but yet our athletes all still get excellent results, right?
Absolutely.
So it just kind of shows there's more than one way. There's not always just one set way. And, every athlete's individual too. So even I have this way, it's probably going to change a little bit per athlete as well. But if you want us to review something and give you 3 different points of view, let us know. And gladly would like to do that. If you even have any show ideas, episode ideas that you'd like us to discuss or to review, as much fun as we have doing this, we can't do it without our listeners. And if you got something that you'd like to have us talk about and tune in, I'm sure there's other people that are thinking they'd like to hear about it too.
Sure thing.
Any final comments?
You're amazing.
Stay cool.
That's it. I'm Coach JW. We'll see you on the trails. That's a wrap for this week on the Endurance Balance. If you enjoyed the conversation, do us a huge favor. Hit that follow or subscribe button on your podcast app right now. It's the best way to support the show. And hey, we want to see your chaos. So come find us on Instagram at The Endurance Balance and drop us a DM. For Coach Alicia and Coach Ann, I'm Coach JW. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the trails.